I'm Bambi Francisco with this segment of Lessons for Entrepreneurs, and I'm speaking with Charles Maldo. He's a general partner at Foundation Capital. Charles also has had some experience as an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Tell us
twice.
about your experience as an entrepreneur, Charles.
Really, I had 2 6-year runs at some great experiences. One was in helping build At-Home Network from scratch. Wrote the original business plan for the product, which then became Excite at Home as people know it. And then spent 6 years as part of the founding executive team of Tell Me Networks, which we sold to Microsoft about 2 years ago.
And then 5 years ago, you started Foundation Capital as a general partner.
I did.
And you've had a successful run with, in the past couple of years, having 4 exits. So
yeah.
You've clearly had good experience spotting companies or entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So and you've been an entrepreneur yourself. So for the entrepreneurs out there, give us 3 pieces of advice to entrepreneurs.
Let's see. 3. 1, be relentless. I mean, I have some incredible stories that would just blow your mind from our time at Tell Me, which I won't go too far into, but I will tell you that we once put a guy in first class on an airplane just so we could sit next to what was a sales candidate.
Yeah.
We had no reason to go to Japan, but we said, fly up, get a seat, sit next to him, and he had 12 hours with the client, and we won this very big deal.
That is a great story.
Yeah, think out of the box, be relentless. Second, I think, is don't compromise for a small idea. And I think people come onto an idea, they get excited about the idea, it might have some problems associated with it, but because they feel like it's their idea, they want to keep running with it. And it's just, time is your most valuable asset, and therefore be patient and wait and find a great idea. So
some people sometimes change their ideas. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think they get tied into an idea, and the idea might have a big flaw. Sometimes there's a big elephant in the room when we meet with entrepreneurs, and they just don't want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. And in the end, the elephant in the room will come out, and it will ultimately, erode or hurt or kill their idea. And it just makes a lot more sense to face it in the very beginning. And so when you're evaluating ideas, make sure it's big and great, and don't settle for an idea of problems.
Right one. Okay.
Be patient.
What's your
third one? Be capital efficient. You never know where the next dollar is going to come from, so spend them very wisely.
And it's hard to be capital efficient when you're coming into your offices here.
Hey, now.
What have you learned through the process of selling companies?
Well, first piece of advice, which people often say in the Valley, is great companies are bought, not sold. Meaning, if you go out to sell a company, it's going to be very difficult. But if you build a great business or a great product, and that business or product has a good fit with an acquirer, that acquirer is going to want it, and it will be bought. So if you want to sell your company, if that's the objective, think about why the acquirers might want it, and position yourself so that they come to the conclusion that they want it, not that you come to the conclusion that you want them to buy it.
But what about some other maybe sort of tactical things? Do you make sure you have a strategic relationship with them? Zupit had one with Yahoo.
Yeah. And by the way, that strategic relationship was strategic because we thought that Yahoo was one of the most obvious potential acquirers.
Oh, okay.
And we tasked JK with building that relationship specifically because we hoped that one day it would lead to the option. Whether we took it or not, we weren't sure, but that it would lead to the option. So we positioned ourselves as being very strategic for Yahoo. We built a relationship, and those individuals bonded with our individuals at Zupit. And in the end, it was Yahoo said, we want to buy you. It wasn't Zupit saying, we want to sell to you.
And do you try to go through a bidding process? Do you try to find other people to find, for the highest price, or is it about the best partner or best fit?
I think we have a responsibility, of course, to help our entrepreneurs get the biggest price, if that's what their objective is.
Right.
But every case is so different. Sometimes you can find a buyer who, if they're going to be put through that kind of bidding process, will back out, and so therefore you're going to minimize value. And sometimes they want the exclusive opportunity, and they'll write a big check and give you a big number up front to avoid that process. So I think it's a matter of how broadly applicable what you have is and how much interest there is. I don't think you go seeking to create interest, but I think if there is interest, it will hear and it will come out, and then you'll find yourself in a process that gets a lot of value.
Okay.
You take, Skype, for example, with eBay and Google.
Right.
Right. And I mean, eBay was so terrified that it would end up in the hands of Google that they paid a crazy price.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want that? I mean, that seems to be unraveling. But anyway, that's a whole another
Yeah,
conversation. But back to entrepreneurs, the
Yeah.
biggest mistakes you see entrepreneurs make today?
I think they don't think strategically. They think very tactically. And so, you know, they might be great at the next step, but they've got to be thinking about how to build the big business long term. And if they think big long term, the other mistake is that they don't hold to the vision. So if there's a passion and a vision, as hard as it seems, as scary as it gets, you have to relentlessly hold on to the vision. You can't compromise it.
Going back to your very first piece of advice, be
Exactly.
relentless.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much, Charles.
Sure. Thank you very much.
I've been speaking with Charles Maldo. He is a general partner at Foundation Capital. I'm Bambi Francisco.